Exciting na naman po yung hearing ngayon sa Congress. Yung House Committee on Public Accountability, House Committee on Good Governance in Public Accountability, kung saan ipinatawag po ng Congress yung mga Chief of Staff ni Inday sa kanyang mga satellite offices para alamin kung paano kung paano yung paggastos ng ibinigay na budget sa Office of the Vice President sa mga nakalipas na taon.
Dispense with the calling of the roll.
Ito pa,
Move that we dispense with the calling of the roll.
pinangungunahan po ni Congressman Joel Chua ng Maynila.
Duly seconded. Is there any objection?
It is based on the privileged speech, mga kababayan, ni Congressman Valeriano. Ito,
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, sa ating mga kagalang-galang na mambabatas at sa ating mga panauhing ngayong umaga. Salamat po sa inyong pagdalo. Maraming salamat po, Madam Vice President, sa inyo pong presensya ngayong umagang to. Bago po tayo today, as well as the invited resource person, Comsec, could you please recognize them now?
Good morning, Your Honor. Thank you. Recognizing, of course, our Chairperson, Honorable Joel R. Chua from the 3rd District of Manila. Our Senior Vice Person, Honorable Bienvenido M. Abante Jr. from the 6th District of Manila. Honorable Romeo M. Acop, Vice Chairperson from the 2nd District of Antipolo City. Honorable Arnan Panaligan, 1st District of Oriental Mindoro. Honorable Jefferson E. Conghun, Vice Chairperson from the 1st District of Zambales. Honorable Ernesto M. Junicio, 1st District of Manila. Honorable Joseph Jojo Lara from the 3rd District of Cagayan. Honorable Jonathan Keith Flores, 2nd District of Bukidnon. Our member and also author, Honorable Rolando M. Valeriano, 2nd District of Manila. Honorable Francisco Paulo P. Ortega from the 1st District of La Union. Honorable Charisse Ann Hernandez from the Lone District of Calamba City. Honorable Ramon Rodrigo Gutierrez from Party List 1 Rider. Honorable Loreto S. Amante from the 3rd District of Laguna. Honorable Joseph Stephen Caraps Paduano from Party List Abang Lingkod. And Deputy Minority Leader, Honorable Franz L. Castro from ACT Teachers Party List, Your Honor. Moving on to the resource persons, we now recognize the presence of our Honorable Sara Zimmerman Duterte from the Office of Vice
present
President.
si Inday.
From the Department of Budget and Management Legal Service,
Tatanungin siya ngayon kung paano
Attorney
niya
Sarah Jane C. Abu. From the Department of Budget and Management
paano niya
as well, Assistant
ginastos
Director for
yung
Legal
kanyang
Service, Rosemary
budget
D.
sa mga
Pagala.
satellite offices.
From DBM, Office of the
Malamang
Secretary, Department of
umusok na
Unit,
naman po
Mr.
si
Mark
Inday.
James S. Evangelista. DBM Assistant Secretary for Budget Preparation and Execution Group, ASEC Mary Ann Z. De La Vega. Undersecretary for Functional Group, Head of the Budget Preparation and Execution, USEC Rolando U. Toledo. We now recognize our resource persons from the Commission on Audit. State Audit Team Member for the National Government Audit Sector, Ms. Sarah Jane E. Fegalan. Commission on Audit, Legal Affairs, Attorney 6, Mr. Erwin E. Lapitan. Commission on Audit State Auditor, Mr. Fahad bin Abdul Malik Tumawis. Commission on Audit, Ms. Sailene May L. Del Campo. And Commission on Audit, Attorney 5 on Intelligence and Confidential Funds Audit Office, Ms. Gloria A. Camora. That's it for our resource persons and members, Your Honor. 16 members in attendance and we have a quorum.
Comsec, with that, we will now proceed to the next item. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. I would like to read Section 29, Paragraph 1 of Article 6 of the Constitution. No money shall be paid out of the Treasury except in pursuance of an appropriation made by law. And Section 24 states that all appropriation, revenue and tariff bills, bills authorizing increase of public debt, bills of local application, and private bills shall originate exclusively in the House of Representatives. But the Senate may propose or concur with amendments. In a democratic republic such as ours, governmental powers are divided among three branches. Power of the sword to the executive, power of the pen to the judiciary, and the power of the purse is assigned to Congress. The power of the purse directly affects the lives of the people. We, the legislature, assumes the role of formulating spending and taxing policies. Saan hugutin at paano gagastusin? Ang gastusin ng gobyerno at ang buwis na ipinapataw sa mamayang Pilipino upang suportahan ang mga gastusing ito ang nagdidikta kung saan ito ilalaan na siyang nakakaapekto sa galaw at paglago ng ekonomiya. Ito rin ang paraan upang magkaroon ng income redistribution. May 4 na parte sa budget process. Number 1, preparation. Number 2, legislation. Number 3, execution. And number 4, accountability. Habang ang ehekutibo ang naghahanda ng budget, tayo sa Kongreso ang nagbabalangkas ng batas ng budget. Implementation is with the executive at accountability ay nakalagak sa parehong Commission on Audit at Kongreso bilang parte ng ating oversight function. Para sa kaalaman ng lahat, the power of the purse and the role of Congress does not end with the passage of the General Appropriation Act. Kailangan malaman ng Kongreso paano ipatutupad ang appropriation law para siguraduhin na maayos itong ginastos at nakamit ang mga targets or desired outcomes ng bawat ahensyang nalagak ng pondo ng bayan. We have to ensure that funds are spent solely for purpose for which they have been appropriated. Kabilang dito ang pagsisiguro ng paggasta ay may tamang otorasyon ayon sa legal intent at purpose. Dapat panagutin ang mga ahensya sa pondong kanilang ginagastos. Kabilang na dito ang pagsisiyasat kung saan inaalam sa taong bayan mismo kung ang mga programang nilagak ng pondo ay naipatupad nga at nakarating sa kanila ang mga serbisyong pinondohan. Dahil sa pagsisiyasat kung nagagawa nga ng mga ahensya ang kanilang trabaho, ang Kongreso ay maayos na nakabalangkas ng appropriation law. Anong programa at ahensya ang dapat dagdagan ng pondo? Alin ang dapat bawasan at aling programa ang dapat nang ihinto? While existing laws provide the executive some flexibility in budget implementation, mahalaga para sa Kongreso na siguruhin ang executive decisions over the budget ay ayon sa intent and priorities set in the General Appropriation Act. Karapatan ng Kongreso humingi ng paliwanag mula sa mga ahensya ng ehekutibo ukol sa kanilang pinansyal na desisyon kabilang na sa pag-withhold, delay ng release ng pondo. Realign, transfer of fund mula sa isang ahensya papunta sa isa pang ahensya o kapag nagkaroon ng karagdagang utang. Effective budget oversight requires access to financial data that can be used to verify or validate agency reports. Sa madaling salita, importante sa Kongreso na sagutin ang mga katanungang may kinalaman sa paggamit ng pondo. Importante din na ang isang independent constitutional body kagaya ng Commission on Audit na may presensya sa lahat ng government offices upang matulungan ang oversight initiative ng legislatura. Ito ang power of the purse ng Kongreso. There may be arguments of extending parliamentary courtesy to several high offices of the executive. But I ask this, is parliamentary courtesy more important than safeguarding the budget to ensure proper utilization and allocation than asserting the power of the purse? Is parliamentary courtesy going to answer for social programs needing allocation? Paano naman ang parliamentary courtesy na sagutin ng Kongreso paukol sa paghingi ng pondo ng isang ahensya at paggamit nito upang epektibong magawa ng Kongreso ang kanyang tungkulin sa proseso ng budget? With this, I now recognize the Honorable Rolando M. Valeriano of 2nd District of Manila for his remarks.
Siya yung nag-privilege speech, mga kababayan. Binanatan si Inday Sara. Itong si
Thank you, Mr.
Valeriano.
Chairman. my fellow House members, the general public watching the live streaming of this public hearing, mga kababayan, magandang araw po. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa liderato ng Kamara sa kanilang referral ng aking September 3 privilege speech dito sa Kapita-Pitagang Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability. Since that day, the Committee on Appropriations decided to reduce the OBP's proposed 2025 budget partly due to unverified claims about beneficiaries and strategic partnerships. Ang pagtanggi ni Vice President Sara Duterte na sagutin ang mga tanong tungkol sa kanyang panukalang budget at ang questionable niyang paggastos sa mga nagdaang OBP budget na sinita ng Commission ng Audit ang mga dahilan kung bakit tayo narito ngayon. She expressly rejected any questions about the OBP budget even before those questions were put forward. Her claim of leaving it to the House to do what it thinks is right is just a palusot, a smokescreen, a cover because she does not want to provide proof for the numbers she stated in her PowerPoint presentation. The OBP socioeconomic programs are supposedly for implementation in the National Capital Region only. The OBP budget do not indicate any allocation or distribution for the provinces. Mahigit 3 weeks na po mula nung unang OBP budget hearing. Pero hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin nagsusumiti si VP Sara o sino man sa Office of the Vice President ng solidong dokumento o detalye na magpapatunay sa mga
Parang
sinasabi
sasabog
nila
na po si Inday,
sa
oh.
kanilang presentasyon.
Parang
She
gigil na gigil
expected
na.
us to take at face value the big presentation when there is much reason
Harap-harapan na
for us here in
binabanatan ni
Congress to
Valeriano.
doubt the veracity of the figures in the presentation. We have not seen any paper trail or electronic trail that would serve as evidence of beneficiaries and partnership agreements. Kung totoong may mga beneficiaries, imposibleng hindi mabalitayan na masino mang district congressman sa Metro Manila, lalo pa tinatayang 2 milyong beneficiaries ang nakinatabang sa loob ng 2.5 taon at ang halaga ng pondo ay halos 4 billion pesos para sa 2022, 2023 at 2024. Our field offices for constituency relations will know when such massive amounts are being disbursed and when throngs of peoples line up as beneficiaries because these activities need the participation of local government units and their offices. Umaasa akong maliwanagan at mabigyan ng tamang impormasyon ng mga resource person mula sa Commission on Audit, mga LGU sa National Capital Region at ng mismong Office of the Vice President hinggil sa mga kaduda-dudang paggastos ng pondo ng bayan. If they have evidence of how the OBP spent the budgets on socio-economic programs from July 22 to the present, I hope they will be entered into evidence after the resource person are sworn to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. If there are any whistleblowers with information, evidence, and testimony about the supposed OBP socio-economic programs, they are most welcome to contact the chairperson of this committee, the committee members, or this representation. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
We proceed to the initial discussion of privilege speech number 379. We will first proceed to the preliminary determination. Do I hear any motion to move for the preliminary determination?
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I move that
Congressman
the
Flores.
committee take cognizance of the issues raised by Congressman Valeriano in his privilege speech, Mr. Chair. I so move.
Is there any second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Is there any objection?
Mr. Chair, parliamentary
Congressman,
inquiry.
Congressman Panaligan.
Before we proceed with the voting, may I inquire as to the propriety or timeliness of this committee taking cognizance of the issues raised in the previous speech of the Honorable Valeriano. I understand that the subject of this inquiry, are the issues raised by Honorable Valeriano in his previous speech. I also understand that this concerns transactions, certain transactions of the OVP and DepEd. However, those transactions are subject of current COA investigations. And we also know that said COA findings are still pending, subject to appeal or reconsideration. So in view of that, I just want to be clarified as to the propriety of this committee taking cognizance of the of said transactions.
Mr. Chair.
Before I recognize the Honorable Flores, the Chair would like to recognize the presence of Congresswoman Gloria Macapagal Arroyo.
Mga
Former
kakampi ni
President,
Inday.
Honorable Aurelio Dong Gonzales, our Senior Deputy Speaker. Congressman Roberto Uy of the 1st District of Zamboanga del Norte. Honorable Janet Garin, Vice Chairperson and Congresswoman of 1st District of Iloilo. Honorable Flores, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, first and foremost, the authority of the House to conduct inquiries in aid of legislation has been already established, Mr. Chair. Not only is it provided for by the Constitution, Mr. Chair, it has also been well settled in jurisprudence and in Supreme Court decisions that the House may conduct inquiries in aid of legislation. We are not here to replace the findings of the COA, Mr. Chair, so it should not in any way interfere with the investigation also being conducted by the COA. We're just here to find out if we could, through legislation, either improve it or protect it or whatever, Mr. Chair. So I think the presence or the fact that there is already a COA investigation should not deter the House from conducting its own inquiries, Mr. Chair, in accordance with, of course, Article 6, Section 21 of our Constitution, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Flores.
Mr. Chair,
Honorable the Vice Chair, Congressman Benny Abante is recognized.
all right. In response to the query of our good colleague there, also related to the statement of Congressman Flores, may I read Rule 1, Section 1 of the Rules of Procedure governing proceedings before the Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability as far as jurisdiction is concerned. It says here, and I quote, "The Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability shall have jurisdiction over all matters directly and principally relating to malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance in office committed by officers and employees of the government and its political subdivisions and instrumentalities, inclusive of investigations of any matter of public interest on its own initiative or upon order of the House," Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a manifestation, Mr. Chair, that during the budget deliberations, there are issues raised concerning the fund utilization of DepEd. In the manifestation of Representative Jervil, Jinky Beatrix R. Luistro of the 2nd District of Batangas, during the budget hearing of the Department of Education o DepEd sa Committee on Appropriations dito sa Kamara, kung saan hinikayat niya na magkaroon ng investigasyon paukol sa kapalpakan ng ahensyang mag-deliver ng mga computer units in good condition sa mga end users, mga guro at estudyante at iba pang isyong may kinalaman sa paggamit ng pondo ng bayan ng naturang ahensya, upang makita natin kung mayroon bang misfeasance, malfeasance, o nonfeasance. Sa madaling salita, Mr. Chair, I wish to manifest that this committee, the Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability, determine whether there is misfeasance, malfeasance, or nonfeasance, at kung may mga paglabag ang mga kawani ng naturang ahensya sa kanilang mga tungkulin bilang mga kawani, Mr. Chair.
That is heading Congressman Lara.
Salamat, Mr. Chair.
And to continue, as manifested by Congressman Lara, the committee, by a majority vote of all members, decided to conduct a motu proprio investigation on the September 10, 2024 manifestation of Congresswoman Luistro during the budget hearing of DepEd, particularly on the agency's failure to deliver computers in good condition to end users and other issues concerning its budget utilization. Since this is a motu proprio inquiry, and we are still waiting for the authority to proceed from the Committee on Rules, the hearing is suspended until we have receipt of the said authority to proceed. Is there any objection? The hearing is now suspended. Yes,
Take
the
out
Honorable.
muna yung mga invited guests.
A letter to the
Si
Office
Inday.
of the Vice President.
Sasalita
You
na.
attached a copy of the rules
Okay.
in aid of legislation.
Yes po.
Yes, sir. Nakalagay po doon na witnesses lang po ang ino-oath. Sabi niyo po ngayon sa amin, resource persons kami.
Ang ano po, considered as resource person po.
Ang ano po.
Kayo po.
Kaya nga po.
Yes po. Lahat po ino-oath po.
Yes.
Apo.
Nakalagay po sa rules ninyo, witnesses. Nakalagay po dito ngayon sa table, resource persons.
Lahat po considered as resource person and witness. Lahat po naman kayo, lahat resource person pa eh. Wala pa naman po tayong tinatawag na, lahat po considered as resource person pa naman po.
Right. Opo. Ang nasa rules ninyo, witnesses lang po ang nag-o-oath. Wala po kayong rules
Parang
sa
ayaw
resource
mag-take out
persons.
ni Inday. Para in case magsinungaling, hindi siya makontempt. Nagmaldita na naman po. Oh.
Ma'am, ano lang po yun eh. Yung term lang po yun eh. Pero considered
Nagmaldita
as
agad?
resource person eh.
Yes, sir.
Opo.
Resource persons nga po
Kayo,
nakalagay
witness
dito.
din po at saka resource person po.
Hindi niyo po sinabi na witness ako. Sinabi niyo po dito ngayon, resource persons. Ang nakalagay po sa rules ninyo, witness.
Comsec, ano po yung pinadala po ninyo?
Yun pong rules in aid of legislation.
What is the point of order of
Si
the
GMA.
Honorable Congressman
This issue about
Makapagal?
witness, resource person, etc., etc.
Ma'am, pakilakas lang po, hindi po marinig.
Persons and accused has been taken up in previous legislative inquiries in aid of legislation. I want to quote a December 8, 2008 hearing in the Senate, where Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago had an opinion on a similar situation, but she quoted a Supreme Court ruling. So, the Constitution provides that no person shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. The Supreme Court has repeatedly emphasized that there is a difference between a mere witness and the accused. And it can appear from statements and privileged speeches that there is that a person who is the subject matter of an adverse privileged speech is not a mere witness or a mere person of interest, meaning a suspect. She is in fact accused of what seems to be a criminal case for violation of certain criminal laws, including malversation of public funds. And there is a case quoted in 2007, Standard Chartered Bank versus the Committee on Banks, where the court repeated the rule that an accused occupies a different tier
of protection from an ordinary witness. So, where the court said, Supreme Court said, whereas an ordinary witness may be compelled to take the witness stand and claim the privilege at each question requiring an incriminating answer is shot at him, an accused may altogether refuse to take the witness stand and refuse to answer any or all questions. So that has been a supreme. And then there is a portion, the court explained that the right of the accused against self-incrimination also applies to respondents in administrative investigations such as legislative inquiries in aid of legislation. So that is the point of order I am raising, and there is a Supreme Court ruling to this effect. Thank you, Mr.
The chair declares 1 minute suspension.
Pumalag agad, ayaw manumpa ni Inday. Baka kasi yung sasabihin niya hindi man totoo. Mas self-incriminate siya. Kaya question yung rules, mga kababayan. Saklolo agad si GMA. Yung magkakalyado.
Rule.
Referring to the sub judice case, but
May clarification si Congressman Chua.
when a witness, in fact, is in reality the accused.
Ma'am, pakilakas po ng konti. Medyo hindi ko po...
What he's saying is that if by the nature, for instance, of the privileged speech, if the witness is not a mere witness, but the person being asked is not mere witness or a mere person of interest, he is in fact the accused of what seems to be a case including malversation of public funds. And the court repeated the rule that an accused occupies a different tier of protection from an ordinary witness. So from given what Miriam Defensor Santiago said and the Supreme Court ruling that she's quoting, we cannot we cannot just trivialize. Kasi you're just a witness. You're a witness. Pareho na rin yung witness, resource person. They are not the same. The Supreme Court says they are not the same. And somebody who appears to be the accused has a different tier of protection from a witness. And in fact, can refuse to take the witness stand.
Congressman Flores, you're recognized.
Mr. Chair, this is an inquiry in aid of legislation, and no one is technically accused of any wrongdoing here, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, look at the speech.
Ma'am,
Look at
please,
the speech, Mr.
ma'am,
Chair, the privilege.
please wait to be
Mr.
recognized.
Chair, may I request a
Wait,
1
I will...
minute?
Nagkakagulo na.
1 minute. 1 minute
Thank
recess
you.
declared by the chair.
Umalis si Inday. Kinausap si GMA. Yung kanyang yung kanyang protector. Ayan. Isa pa ang kalyado niya, si Marcolita. Nag-usap-usap muna. Hindi natin marinig kung ano pinag-usapan ng dalawa. May game plan sila.
Mr. Chair, yes. Mr. Chair,
Session resumes.
Mr. Chair, may I speak?
You will be given the opportunity later,
Okay.
Madam Vice President. In any event...
Nangunguna na si Inday.
The point of the Honorable Arroyo is well taken, but we will proceed to the oath taking. If the Vice President refuse to take her oath, we will respect that. In the meantime, Comsec, please proceed with the oath taking of the other witnesses.
To all the other witnesses and or resource persons, please stand up and raise your right hand, inviting the DBM, the COA, and other staff from the Office of the Vice President, Your Honor. Right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the statements you will give before this committee shall be the truth,
Ayaw
the whole
sumabay
truth,
ni
and
Inday.
nothing but the truth, so help you
Ayaw
God?
manumpa.
I do. The oath has been administered, Your Honor.
Talagang
Mr. Chairman.
spoiled brat. Bratinila.
Yes, Congressman Paduano.
Of course, you have already ruled with regards to the point of the order being raised by the former President and now Representative of Pampanga, Madam Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. But still, there is also a supposedly a pending manifestation being made by the members of this committee with regards to the point of order that was raised. So I think, Mr. Chairman, we have to hear first, but of course you have already ruled, but we have to also to hear the manifestation of the members of this honorable committee. And in that case, you have already recognized the good Congressman Kit Flores. And I think it is just proper to recognize him once again. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Paduano. The Honorable Flores is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, but I think the ruling was already made, Mr. Chair, and I will submit, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Paduano. We will now, let us also discuss the administrative matters. But before we proceed, the Chair would like to recognize the Honorable Bongalon of Ako Bicol, the Mr. Marvin Joshua Pali, ano to? Commission on Audit, State Auditor 3.
The letter to Chairperson Cordoba.
So lahat
Assistant
pala
Commissioner
mga
Martha
kababayan,
Rosanas was also
lahat ng mga
sent an
satellite
invitation
offices
on
ni
September
Inday,
13. All of
in-invite
the
po
resource persons
para
were sent invitations on September
mag-testify.
13. For National Government Audit Sector Cluster, Sofia Hamhemora, Supervising Auditor Elvira De Vera, were sent invitations. However, there were no direct email confirmations, but they verbally confirmed their presence.
You are recognized, ma'am.
Recognize na po si Inday para sa mensahe.
A message, sir, or my statement regarding the point of order. Message? Mga kababayan, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum, Warakmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Madayaw, mayong adlaw, kaninyong tanan. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. The officials of the Office of the Vice President, as well as each and every one of our satellite office leads, were in receipt of a letter from the chairman of the Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability dated September 13, 2024, requesting our presence or that of our duly authorized representatives in today's initial deliberation with preliminary determination on privilege speech number 379. In view of the said letter, I am appearing before you today not only as the head of office, but more importantly as the duly authorized representative of all officials of the OVP. Simply because we have not done anything wrong. There is no misuse of funds. If there are audit findings, we shall gladly respond to them before the Commission on Audit. And if there are legitimate cases to be filed, then we shall gladly respond to them before the appropriate courts. In relation to this, may I just say that I take notice of the opening speeches and nasabi doon, there is a determination of misfeasance, nonfeasance, and malfeasance. And those are cases that should properly be taken in the courts of law. What we are witnessing now is no ordinary legislative inquiry. This exercise is a well-funded and coordinated political attack.
Ayan.
This much is evident from the very words
Nag-akusa na
of
naman si
the
Inday.
privileged speech that prompted this inquiry. A speech that simply meant to say, do not vote for Sara on 2028.
Uliti ka na naman si Inday.
It is clear to me that this inquiry is not about misused funds, accountability, or governance. Instead, it is solely aimed at discrediting my name and my office to prevent future political contests.
Paninira lang daw.
I have publicly stated my reasons as to why I've chosen not to defend the OVP's budget proposal for 2025. I have narrated the issues I encountered in previous years, which can easily be confirmed by looking at the NEP, the GAP, and the GAA for fiscal years 2023 and 2024. Further, I have even shared the drama that transpired last year regarding the confidential funds. Hence, just as we have done last year, we again leave the 2025 OVP budget to the pleasure of Congressman Martin Romualdez. I am not asking for any special treatment, nor am I asking you to uphold any tradition. There is no disrespect. All I am saying is that you have the complete freedom to do whatever you wish with the OVP budget. If you feel that all the documentary submissions are not enough, then by all means, huwag kayo magbigay ng budget. Sa totoo lang, hindi naman ang budget ang punteriya ninyo. Dahil napakadali naman
Binakbakan
magtanggal ng
ako?
budget. What you are trying to do is make a case for impeachment.
Direct accusation po.
Hindi naman ako kakandidato sa nalalapit na eleksyon. Hindi ako namumulitika. Ang ginagawa ko lamang ay ang pagtupad sa aking oath of office at campaign platforms na trabaho, edukasyon, at mapayapang pamumuhay.
Matatalim.
Sinabi ko na noon at ilang beses ko nang inulit na hindi ako ang problema ng bayan na ito. Ang totoong problema ng bayan ay kagutuman, kahirapan, iligal na droga, kriminalidad, terorismo, hindi na sapat na healthcare, kalidad ng edukasyon, kawalan ng plano ng infrastruktura para sa disasters, at marami pang iba. So, you may try to destroy me, you can skin me alive, and throw my ashes to the wind.
Matindi.
But let it be known, you will find me unbowed. I will continue to serve the Filipino people no matter the personal cost or political intrigue. Having said that, I will not allow myself to be subjected to an inquiry based on an empty privilege speech just so you can attack me and do indirectly what you failed to do directly during the budget hearings. I therefore request this committee to terminate this inquiry for its clear lack of any proposed legislation or substantive matter for discussion.
Total disrespect ang ginawa ni Inday. pambabastos na
The
plus.
committee cannot rule on that because the committee already took cognizance of this privilege speech. Anyway, we
Matindi po.
next recognize the representative from COA,
Mr. Chair,
ay Congressman Marcoleta.
may I please raise a parliamentary inquiry?
What is your parliamentary inquiry?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The rules of the committee says that this committee only acquires jurisdiction on matters of nonfeasance, misfeasance, malfeasance. And under Section 2, Mr. Chair of the rules,
Tagapagtanggol ni
there should be
Inday.
a prior determination whether or not these malfeasance, nonfeasance, and misfeasance are directly or specifically relating to the persons charged of this. Has this committee made a prior determination of this? And if so, when did it happen? And where is the order specifying that the committee has just reached a prior determination? This is very important, Mr. Chair, because the rules also says that after determining or making a prior determination, this committee will set an order, and that is the only way that this committee acquire jurisdiction over the person's subject matter of this inquiry. And that particular order of prior determination will set out the parameters. If I can make a comparison, Mr. Chair, in regular court, it is called pre-trial order, where the parameters of the inquiry, the presentation of evidence or explanations or allegations are limited to that set of stipulation. So considering, Mr. Chair, and I assume that there is no prior determination, I do not think how we can start the meeting today because we are supposed to observe the rules. I am referring to Section 2 of the rules of this committee, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Congressman Marcoleta. We have already ruled on the preliminary determination a while ago. Medyo na late na po kayo. Now, with respect to your inquiry, that if we can proceed with this, considering that this is an investigation of malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance, let me walk you through government and public accountability. It provides that all matters directly and principally relating to malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance in office committed by officers and employees of the government and its political subdivision and instrumentalities, inclusive of investigations of any matter of public interest on its own initiative or upon order of the House. For the information of everybody, the issue on confidential fund is a matter of public interest. Lahat po tayo ay interesado, hindi lamang po tayo, yung publiko po, interesado kung paano po ito nagamit. Kaya yun po ang dahilan why this committee has jurisdiction over the subject matter.
But Mr.
Yes,
Chair,
Congressman Marcoleta.
Mr. Chair, under Section 5, there should be a record of preliminary determination. It says that the proceedings in the preliminary investigation or determination shall be recorded through stenographic notes. What you were mentioning are motu proprio cases. I am assuming that this committee started by way of a referral because of a privileged speech delivered on the floor by one of us. And so this is the main subject matter of this committee meeting, and to which we should first determine preliminarily whether or not this committee acquires jurisdiction. And I demand a record of preliminary determination under Section 5 because it says, upon termination thereof, Mr. Chair, the chairperson shall issue an order which shall recite in details the matters taken up. So what are the matters taken up, Mr. Chair? I think we should be able to comply with these elementary rules as specified.
Delaying
In the
tactics
governing
po
rules.
kung sa court trial.
Well, considering
Itong
that
si
we are still in the...
Marcolita,
we have
nag-abogado
yet to
na kay
proceed
Inday.
to the interpellation. We are still in the period of recognizing the resource person as well as the witness. With that, the chair declares 1 minute suspension.
So anyway, 1 minute suspension muna. Ipagpapatuloy natin ito mga kababayan yung ating coverage maya-maya. Sa mga naghanap ng malinis and spacious fitness gym, pumunta lang po kayo sa aming Colossal Fitness Gym. We also offer Grab Car Rental with our brand new 2023 model ng Toyota Innova. We also accept booking for those who are planning to travel via PAL, Cebu Pacific, and other airline companies, local and international, and bills payment for Meralco bills, PLDT, Aleco bills, etc. Ang Colossal Fitness Gym is located at 3rd floor Security Bank Building, Landco Business Park, Legazpi City, Albay. For inquiries, look for Bjillon Maravillas. Contact number 0966-802-0949. Yan yung aming Innova. Lagi na pong matao sa amin. Pati mga foreigners po, tingnan ninyo. Mga British tourists sila. Ang lalaki ng katawan na, mga kababayan, nag-gym sa amin. Ito naman po, Indian National. Ito mga mga European sila. Ito naman yung bago naming product na binibenta online, Eye Glow Serum. Whitening po siya galing sa South Korea. Tingnan ninyo yung epekto sa aking anak na architect entrepreneur, Riz Maravillas. For inquiries, look for Riz Maravillas on FB. Ito naman po, Firmax Framing and Lifting Cream. Pinapahid po ito sa mga pulses and affected area. Mainam po ito sa mga pains at paninigas na mga kaso-kasuan. Ito po, Automax Radiant Serum. Sa mukha naman yung application. Anti-aging po siya. You will look 10 years younger than your age. Sa mga cancer patients naman po, baka lang gusto ninyo itong itry. Nengxia Red Mix Fruit Drink. Hindi man po siya gamot, food supplement siya. Kaya lang, gawa siya mga kababayan sa goji berry. Yung goji berry may anti-cancer properties. Yung mga inquiries ninyo, dumiretso na lang kayo sa aming messenger sa Facebook para masagot namin agad. Ayos po, ako po si Dante Maravillas. Bye-bye. God bless.